respond? $5 from Lav and Matt Pitt forever. Team Lav
Jesus
forever.
Christ.
Thank
Matt,
you for the $5.
stop!
Okay.
Matt's doing this weird psyop.
Now recording.
Today's going to be a one-on-one interview with a lovely Lavlune. You might know her, you might hate her, you might love her, I don't know. Beavers couldn't make it because Lav wanted to do an hour early, and poor Beavers, he's in South Africa, and he was ready to wake up at a certain time, and, didn't happen. So it will just be me and Lav, but I wanted to give a quick disclaimer to the Twitch poll people that are watching this probably, and to like other people that are more that are either like centered around Lav or orbiting Lav or know the Lav lore more than I do. Please understand that I'm in commentary. I did a little research, but I didn't do a lot. And she's going off about stuff. I'm not cheering it on, I'm not like trying to be I'm not confirming what they say, or I'm not agreeing with all of they say. This is a really interesting interview. I think we had a really good interview. I think it was a lot of fun. I do want to thank her again for coming on, but she does say some pretty fucking crazy things on this interview. So please understand, I am not avowing. I disavow, automatic disavow on a lot of stuff she said. All right, just saying that right now. Automatic disavow a lot of stuff that she said, except for the stuff that was funny. That I avow. I definitely avow that. But yeah, no, we had a good interview. Really fun interview. I think you'll enjoy it. And yeah, we'll take it your way. So this is what happened, right? Typical woman fashion. I get this thing scheduled for 9 p.m. with Lav, and everything's good. I've been keeping updated with her, been talking to her in the DMs and everything. And then all of a sudden, like a typical woman, she wants to do it an hour early while Beavers is still asleep because he's in South African time. And that's where I'm at right now. So I figured I'd pop in and just bring the bots in real quick, so I didn't have to have like the gay conversation about oh yeah, we got these recording bots, and yeah, so we're just this is how we record. We just record with our bots. But yeah, if you haven't guessed it, I will be interviewing Lav. I got questions. Jessica was supposed to come in, but she didn't. She can't make it because Lav is running. No, I'm kidding. Lav went an hour early, so I'm kind of thrown off. I'm throwing off my game a bit, guys. I'm throwing off my game. I was kind of hoping Beavers would be here for emotional support. I'll be honest with you. Lav seems like a crazy woman, right? But 9.8 out of 10. 9.8 out of 10. 100% 9.8 out of 10. So I think I think I got a thing for like Jewish women with like jet black hair. So yeah. All right. Yeah, now I'm just waiting for her. She should be popping up dude, if she stands me up or like waits like really long for the bot, I'm gonna be annoyed. I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm gonna really speak my mind on this situation, because I can't be letting this woman tell me what to do, right? She's already kind of bossing me around, waiting for this to happen. She's going to be late. She's a woman. She's going to be late. I know that for a fact, Jack. She is going to be late. Oh, there she is. Yo, what's up? Yo, can you talk for a second?
Hello.
Yeah, you sound good.
Is this better, or is this too much?
No, you're good. I think you're good.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just talking to myself in this VC waiting for you. Not creepy at all, but I was saying, like, it's typical woman, right? You want to go an hour early after we scheduled, at a certain time.
Yeah. I wanted to have date night with my man. I forgot that it was Friday.
Wait, you got a boyfriend? No.
I have a husband, idiot.
Yeah, I know. I obviously know about that.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. No, I had this joke where I was going to be like, yeah, I'm actually getting a job at this startup company called Bridge Wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good one. It's a really good joke. That's actually really original also.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. You should apply for your next job at Cuck Wallet. People seem to really like that one.
Yeah. Welcome now recording fans to Now Recording. I'm here with Lavlune, a very notable Twitch poll commentator or debate streamer, whatever you want to call it. She had some big dramas back about a year ago now, and it seems like she's kind of back interacting with everyone, and I figured why not have her on, ask her a few questions. I mean, we were supposed to have like Jessica on to like yell at you or something, but I don't think she's gonna make it.
Yeah,
But,
sad.
yeah. But that being said, when we had Xylee and Jessica on, we were expecting them to like start with the whole dog thing, and they had no idea about it. So, like, do you know where these rumors are coming from that you fucked your dog?
Yeah, the community. So you know who Zonia is?
Yes. Here's the thing. Cool thing. We did an episode on you last year and had Zonia and Stardust on to explain your lore to us, and it ended up being, in our opinion, one of the worst episodes of Now Recording. Not because of their fault. We were just not on the same, like, we're not Twitch poll guys, and we don't really understand like feminist literature and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we just didn't really understand what they were fucking talking about. But yeah, I've talked to Zonia before.
Yeah, Zonia was like unhinged for a while, and I became his like AGP autogynephilic obsession. And so like anytime I do anything, Zonia would be there to like anytime I went on any stream like Wick or anywhere, Zonia would come on and say nothing, and then she basically accused me of fucking my dog, drugging my dog, like all these random things. Obviously I've never had sex with my dog
Right.
that anyone knows of, that you can't prove. And there's like this video where like I'm unboxing my bad dragon dildos, which I've never used, but they're really funny. Like it's just funny to get bad dragons. I got a dolphin dildo because obviously that's like the funniest one that they have. Like a dragon's mouth and just like a regular dragon penis. Because I'm like a collector of sex toys and dildos. Even if I don't use them, I just think that they're fun to like put on the coffee table. So yeah, I was doing an unboxing for that, and then I guess I tweeted in 2017 or something that dog cum tastes weird or something, like just a heinous thing to tweet.
Like an edgy tweet, yeah.
Yeah, just a heinous thing to tweet. And then there was that picture that was taken from me going on Chud Logic, I believe, or maybe it was actually Wick TV. And my wiener dog, my little lady wiener dog, Spoon, was sleeping in my hand. She fell asleep in my hands, and I was kissing her stomach.
You got clip chimped, basically, right?
Yeah, I guess, but she's a girl dog. Her vagina's like next to her tail. Like if you've ever seen a girl dog's vagina, they're like not on the stomach. So yeah, it was just weird. But obviously that's like just not real. But then, it became this whole thing.
Was it like the Shane Dawson clip where he's like sticking his face in his dog or whatever, or his cat or something? You ever seen that one?
Oh yeah. I actually did tweet. I did the copy pasta that was like, I've never put my dick anywhere near my cat. I've never fucked my cat. And then I was a pedophile for a while.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Yeah. So I've been accused of like a whole bunch of different stuff. None of it's true that I'm aware of yet. I could dabble in the future, but
yeah.
But I haven't yet.
Well, they said on the podcast that you when you started your OnlyFans, you were underage, and I might be misquoting them there.
No. When I started sex work, I was underage. So I was selling my panties before I turned 18, and selling like nude photos on Twitter before I turned 18. But I was never. You can't even have an OnlyFans if you're underage. I didn't do OnlyFans, I think, until I was 20.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Because OnlyFans like wasn't even around until I was 20.
Right.
Yeah, or Patreon. I did Patreon, and then I did OnlyFans. But
okay.
Yeah.
So do they allow that on Patreon? Can you do that?
No, you need to give them your ID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I also asked around the community because the reason why I've been interacting with you a lot is because a lot of women in our community can't stand you.
Yeah,
so they don't.
It's because I'm beautiful, smart. I have everything I want. I don't have to work.
True.
Yeah. Well,
no.
I mean, I tuned in for a second to see those women like yap about me, or really just, I mean, banshee, like just screech about me. And all of it was like, what does she do all day? All she does is put on makeup, and like, it's like, yeah, you wish you had my life. Like,
I wish I had your life.
Yeah, like that's a lot of the crux of why people like hate me, is because I have a great life and I know it, and I'm squandering it by going to places like this, right? Like, that's, I'm disrupting my peace by going to the recesses of the internet like that. But yeah. Women seem to really, really hate me. Men are a little more easy to convince because I have a nice rack, but
true.
Women are not. Women are harder. They're harder to crack.
No, it's like I talked to them about it, and there's like this thing where it's like I'm kind of doing like a joke, but they're starting to kind of take it a little seriously. Because like I told them the DM I had with you where you're like, I'm feeling ugly today, and I was like, that's not possible or something like that.
Jesus
and
they're
like, she's going to me too. You don't you understand? She's going to do it.
Oh my god! Holy shit! I mean, you'd think of all the. First of all, most of my friends are male. Most of the people I interact with in my life are male. If I was just me tooing every man that came into my path, there'd be a lot more me toos than there are.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a speck of dust. You go.
But you could be next. I hope that keeps you on your toes.
I honestly, I probably prefer it. I think I'd enjoy
that'd be fun.
Me too. Yeah, I think
by the honorary. Yeah, by me, that's like.
Obviously,
like that's like if you're getting raped, you want you want Trump to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Trump.
Like you want someone, or like Hitler. You want someone notable to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I talked to one of the girls, and they had this to say. They actually had some nice things to say about you. Kind of. They said, "Lab is a very
women always do the backhanded.
Let's hear it. Backhanded. Yeah. Lab is a very quick-witted. Lab is very quick-witted. The only way to get to Lab when arguing with her is being able to get to her personally. But she doesn't give a fuck. But if you can break her in the slightest, then you have a chance with her. That's why instead of fighting with Lab, people just befriend her so they can just get along with her. Destiny," and then they go on to say, "Destiny is the best one to get to Lab, and a lot of the women in the DGG orbit do not know how to handle Lab because they are stuck up bitches who can't handle somebody giving them pushback."
I don't know. I think I'm very male socialized. And so I don't typically get along with like the average woman. There's certainly women that I get more along with. Like I've been getting along with Kelly pretty well. I think she's also pretty male socialized, pretty autistic. But like girls like Pixie or Lauren DeLaguna, who are like very obviously female socialized, it's just never like we don't see each other.
Right.
So there's always going to be, and mixed with like intersexual competition, just being like females in the same vicinity as each other. Obviously, there's going to be like a charged energy. But I also one of the first things that Lauren like ever said to me was that she was prettier than me. It's like, okay.
That's the lawyer, right?
I was like, what? I was like, what are you like? Okay, I don't know. Some of these bitches are fucking insane. And I also don't have like an off switch when it comes to like, if you hurt my feelings a little bit, I'm going to want to make you kill yourself. Like I'm extremely vengeful. I have revenge fantasies probably about 10 hours out of my waking day.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, that's a Cancer trait. I'm a Cancer sun and moon. So yeah, but with men, I don't think that's why Destiny and I have a very interesting, complex relationship, and I think we're like foxes sniffing each other out. I don't think that, because every time when we met up in person, it was actually very, even obviously not talking about the sexual stuff, but it was still very we had great chemistry. It was very friendly. It was very we were able to bounce off of each other, and we even made a couple jokes about me tooing him, which is even funnier now. Yeah, it's even funnier now. I remember saying you have to watch out, you better not rape me, just stuff like that. And then, which is, I think, why he says all the time now that he's, he didn't believe that would ever happen with me. I didn't either, honestly. I didn't think that I would ever... Well, here's the thing is that I didn't come out and say that he ever raped me, because he didn't. I never said that. But I said that there was, blurred lines about his, sexual relationships and the efficacy of them. Which I think that's a valid thing to have... That's a valid criticism to have been made. Would I call him Harvey Weinstein again? Probably not. Probably not. But you know, that's but yeah, I think that's our relationship is it's not that I think that he can break me. There were a couple things that he said that really bothered me, but not in like any significant way. I don't know. Who wrote that? Who wrote that message?
I promised to remain she would remain anonymous, but I will say this. It's one of the people that were on the episode with me. Oh,
interesting.
Yeah. I since you brought up Destiny, I wanted to say like you had this this huge backlash against him and all these accusations and stuff like that. And now it seems like you kind of come back and you're starting to interact with the community again. Was there a conversation between you two that got you back on the same page because you've been on Kick or Keep a couple times with him?
Yeah, so before I ever went, I was asked to go on Kick or Keep for weeks before I ever went on because I was like, I need to talk to Steven. Like, I'm not just gonna like go on after, you know, what happened last year. So we had a call and it was actually it was a good call. We both, you know, I mean, he will never admit that he apologized, and it wasn't like I'm sorry for this or whatever, but he did seem very understanding of my position. Where, you know, for the longest time, even when Max was going like full balls to the wall, I maintained a very like neutral position for like most of the time. For 8 months of like the writing of the article, I was like, well, I don't think he's a bad person, but I think we should probably think about, you know, because mainly it made me really upset to have had a personal relationship with one, especially one that became sexual, where he was then going online and watching me fight other women and sometimes encouraging me to fight other women that he's had sexual relationships with. Two, the fact that he was like feeding his audience information like, yeah, she can be so manipulative and this is very like, this is Darvo and this is like giving them ammo about like ways to psychoanalyze me that were used to like harass me. And then three, not to my liking, not moderating enough, and I felt like he wasn't sticking up for me enough. So all these things mixed with the fact that we had a sexual relationship became very like confusing for me to navigate. And then also, you know, Max was in my ear, and since I've disavowed, but Max was in my ear saying like, you know, a man with this much power shouldn't sleep with you know, his audience or people who he works with, or shouldn't use his power and influence to have sex with people, which at the time it felt very delicious to take that route because I think I was very embarrassed by the fact that I knew that I was leveraging my sexuality to get or what I thought I was doing is what I was like, oh, you know, if I send him a couple pictures, if I have this relationship with him, then I'll be, you know, this will be advantageous for me in my career. Or at least in the online streaming sphere, which I think I don't know. I just don't think that there's much of a problem there anymore. I think there was a point where I was like, yeah, that's fucked up. But I think if you're a man and you're leveraging your you know, the success that you've created for yourself to have sex with women, good for you. I think what we should do is probably tell stupid women like me that there are consequences for that. So like me not knowing or like being or thinking that he owed me something because of that was probably my bad. So yeah, but then, you know, I got really caught up with the Max stuff, and Max could be very manipulative, and not saying that I'm, you know, that negates any of my responsibility.
I wanted to ask, do you think MrGirl took advantage of you due to your relationship with Destiny?
Totally.
Because oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I totally think that I think he took advantage of our relationship every step of the way. Our relationship was very one-sided, in which he became sort of like my therapist or my confidant during a very difficult time for me. Where one, I was getting my meds changed around, which is always, you know, nuts. Makes your brain do different, you know, crazy
things. I think I saw in a clip you got off Klonopin or something, is what you said?
Yeah, I was on Klonopin, then I got off of it, and I was trying a new like SSRI, which I didn't tolerate very well. Since now I don't take an SSRI, but I still occasionally take Klonopin because when that bean kicks in, I can relax. That's the only time my brain stops. But yeah, he came in at a very fragile time in my life and like fed me a lot of like very dogmatic doctrines, and also saved me from taking like very hard to look at accountability for like my part in what happened. And when when you're someone with an ego like mine, it is very hard to admit that you have done anything wrong, and it is very easy to go to the victim place. And then, when this older person who you respect is telling you that you are in the victim place, and that you actually have no agency and something was done to you, it's very delicious. I know very few people that would not get, sucked into that. So yeah, that was the thing.
What was your relationship? There were times where either MrGirl referred to you as his daughter, or did you refer to MrGirl as a father figure or something like that?
Well, at the beginning, I thought it was a joke. At the beginning, I thought it was just funny. And then, it started to get weird. He'd call Shaylin my mother, and then we'd have these group conversations where Shaylin and him were talking to me like parents would, and then I was starting to get really confused. I have a wound, surrounding my parents and them, not being there. Who doesn't? I'm just a girl. I'm just an e-girl. You know what I mean? What name an e-girl who has a good relationship with her parents? You can't. You can't. And so yeah, I think he took advantage of that, or maybe on accident, maybe on purpose. Who's to say? But it just became very weird. And then there were points where I was like, okay, Max, this isn't real, right? And he'd be like, no, it's real. And then he just took it too far. But no, I'm not his daughter. I was never his daughter. Yeah. But I think that was his way of making the relationship completely desexualized, which just kind of made it sexualized.
Well, it is MrGirl. I feel like if you're a female who interacts with MrGirl, somehow it's going to be sexualized, right? Well,
even it's because you're negating that so much. It was just so apparent in our he always said to me, I want to be the one man in your life that doesn't want something sexually from you. Mm-hmm. But he'd say that a lot, to the point where I was like, okay, so it's in the room with us still? Can you just be... I don't know, also there are plenty of men in my life who don't want something sexual from me, or if they do, they don't make it my problem. Right. So it was just very, I don't know, it was so odd. I don't know. I think he's an odd guy, but I think that we are probably not well suited to each other to be engaged in any sort of personal relationship, friendship or otherwise.
Do you regret the whole thing, the relationship that you had with MrGirl? Do you regret any of that?
No. I think I don't. I live life without regrets.
No regrets.
Yeah, I think I learned a lot from that whole situation. Even if it was just to I think I've been pushed to a place where I am I take way more accountability than the average person, and I think that that's a superpower. I mean, people could disagree with me. People are going to disagree with me no matter what I say, even though I think I've shown a substantial amount of growth. But yeah, I think that it unlocked a deeper part of me. So now I'm an accountability superhero. Yeah. I'm very self-aware now in a way that I was not before.
I remember seeing this stream with you and MrGirl where you were maybe looping and he was stop doing that or something of that nature. Do you remember that stream at all? It was really fucking weird.
Is this the one where we both cried?
Probably. Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, I think so.
Oh God. I try. That's I've PTSD blocked that out. Yeah, I don't even remember the context of that, but that call was very weird. I've only watched it back once.
Yeah, it got clipped a lot, and it was just him being stop it, or you're looping again, stop it, and you're oh. It was fucking anything with MrGirl just seems really weird. I've talked to him a couple times. I hate how I was watching your stream with this guy you were doing. You did this a month ago or something, and I guess this guy was a MrGirl fan. And what always creeps me out about your community is everyone seems to copy the cadence of the streamer they like. So you got a lot of people that talk like Destiny, and the guy you were talking to was pausing.
Smith.
Yeah, he was pausing just like MrGirl pauses, where he just kind of stares straight ahead and pauses. I don't know.
Yeah, that's Smith is like a psycho fanatic. He's like MrGirl Jr.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what MrGirl's whole shtick is that he's an oversharer because it's very, his whole personality is very exhibitionist. So he wants to basically self-harm in front of the audience. He's I used to say that he was a flagellant, he was a flagellator, in the way that, you know, people used to flagellate for like God in medieval times, like cut themselves open in the middle of the street and bleed out. He's very much like that, where he wants to overshare, he wants to show you the worst parts of himself, which I think I didn't consent to ultimately, which I think that is, but he didn't care whether or not I consented to that, so whatever.
Right.
But yeah, his whole thing is very, but it's all very narcissistic, and not in a way that's like malignant, like you know, in the way that you would imagine a narcissist, like going through their life, trying to get as much as they can out of everyone and unempathetic. It's mostly just like him being so self-focused and like insecure that he's like, I don't know what he would do if he couldn't like if he didn't have eyes on him. I don't know if he could live. Like I just don't. It's hard to think of a world where MrGirl is just like living a life,
like a normal life. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
nah.
Yeah. It's
he's
but
like,
yeah, his fans are all very strange. I don't, you know what? I don't even know who he makes content for anymore. Like I don't even
pedophiles.
Yeah, no, I unironically like it. Maybe just people who have deep perversions that they need to be, you know, coddled or made to feel comfortable. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of alleged pedophiles, is Hasan Piker an alleged pedo?
I've heard about it, allegedly.
Would you say the girl who had sex with Hasan, was she allegedly a smooth criminal?
Oh, jeez.
Did she beat it? Was she the girl that said he was not the one? Was the kid not her son? Huh? Yeah.
No comment. No comment.
Yeah, I figured that was gonna happen. All right, we'll move on.
Comment.
All right, so there's this. So
he is a pedophile, though.
Okay.
I can't prove it. Just know. Okay. Even without my friend. He just has the disposition of a pedophile.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So there's this video on you. The only thing I know about your backstory is this video by Sick, which is
which he took down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What happened to that video, to your knowledge?
So nobody knew why he made this about me, but Sick used to be like my friend in the MrGirl community, and even an offset server called Edo. And we had multiple instances where Sick would like try to sext with me, or like try to riz me, and I'd be very uninterested. So I couldn't find like, I couldn't find any of that on, like, I was wanting to tell people that this is why he made this video, was because he was upset that I was unresponsive to him rizzing me, and another girl who he'd cheated on his wife with, or his girlfriend with. He like had posted his nudes or something, or not his nudes, his shirtless photo in one of the servers that I owned or something, like a friend server, and he was really mad at me for like not protecting him from that. But I was like, dude, you like, this is why you don't cheat on your partners. And then whatever. But I had no proof of it, so I didn't come forward and say like, oh, this man just wants to fuck me, because obviously my rapport with the audience was not very good at this
lab
point.
Response, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
I think,
yeah, exactly. So I didn't say anything, but then finally I went back in all of my DMs to try to find something else. I don't even remember what I was trying to find, but I found his original account that he had deleted.
Yeah.
And it said deleted account on all of the screenshots, so he could have said that this even wasn't him, but he was too stupid to do that. But yeah, it was like screenshots of him trying to like do like rape play with me, and or like, and I was just like really not interested. Or like fucking with him, like obviously fucking with him the whole time. Yeah, so then he got, you know, shunned from Chud Logic and Queeman's whole thing first, but he didn't delete the video at that point. And then it came out that he molested his little sister, or his little cousin or something. Yeah. He got drunk on a Twitch stream and talked about how, because he was molested as a child, he molested his like little sibling or something, and then it was fucking over for him. It was, you know, and also he had no. I did a stream with him and I think Wick, where I debunked everything that he said in the video. Like, my GoFundMe was not a scam. I showed my doctor bill. I showed my emergency room and hospital stay visits. I showed my drug talk screening. He also reached out to like an ex-friend of mine who I was very close with in 7th grade, who I like never talked to otherwise, and she had said that I like.
Who had Hasan? No, I'm
no. Different.
Yeah.
No, but then that was weird. It was weird. I mean, it is weird that he reached out to like real people from my life, and then I forget the other lies that he said. He had brought up that I had said I have OCD, and so I was talking about this is one of the controversies. Is I was bringing up in one of my servers with my friends that I was having like a really bad like OCD episode on my birthday actually, and I was at a pool.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was looking at this like little girl, in the way that you just people watch, and she had like moved to a point where like her bathing suit had, moved. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say that much. And then it freaked me out. It made me very uncomfortable. And then my OCD came in, and I was like, and my OCD like had convinced me that I was a pedophile. Obviously, I'm not. But this is just
obsessive. Isn't it like obsessive pedo thoughts or something like that?
It's not obsessive pedo thoughts where it's like I want to fuck this girl. I want to fuck this girl.
No, it's like
but it's like oh no, I'm a monster. I'm a monster. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I had wrote that in my friend Discord, and then this had gotten out, and so he had framed it as if I was a pedophile, even though in the screenshots I was like, I'm anxious, I'm nervous, like whatever. Anyone who actually genuinely read those probably just felt bad for me, and tried to whatever. Right. Obviously, it's not indicative of me being a pedophile. And then he said that I had posted like porn of me as a minor in the Discord. Also not true, and multiple people from the Discord came forward and said that it wasn't true. So the whole thing was just like slanderous and ridiculous. So I think ultimately that's probably why he deleted it, but also because his public favor was bad. And then the Kiwi Farms came out about me, and I guess he had worked with the Kiwi Farms person or something, and to like dox me and my family. So it wasn't looking too good for him.
Right. I think I talked to Jessica or something, and she was told that by him that it did its job, and therefore he took it down or something like that. That's why this video was taken down.
Wouldn't you keep it up if it did its job?
I mean, collect more views, I guess. Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone. I think people forgot about that. Honestly, like I don't think that anyone cares really about it anymore.
Right.
Which is good.
I think I literally I think Nicholas DiOrio was supposed to interview you at one point last year. So I reached out to him, and I was like, dude, you got any questions? Because you were supposed to interview her at one point. He's like, I forgot what she did. I was like, okay, base.
Yeah.
So you got away. You got away with it.
I got away. Don't let her get away with it. Don't let her get away with it. Yeah, I got away with it. Well, also his big thing, and the big thing that like even Steven said this, which is why I had a big problem with him for a while, is, I mean, of course you would try to slander the person who's accusing you of doing something bad. Everyone, any normal person would do this, but he had said that I was known for false allegations. Mm-hmm. So the whole thing. So there were 3.
Gabriel Gundacker.
Yeah, Gabriel Gundacker, who 30 women came forward about Gabriel Gundacker. So that's, I mean, and I never said that.
Was yours an allegation, or was yours just like a weird situation where like he?
Mine was, I think, an allegation. Mine was. Okay. I think that you can look at it as sexual assault. I'm still tentative to call it sexual assault, even, especially in the right space. Like, I'll call it sexual assault to my therapist, but, calling it sexual assault publicly still makes me feel a little weird.
I think the criticism I've heard from that situation is that it started out as a funny story on your TikTok, and then as the allegations came out, it kind of turned into like an actual allegation as well.
Well, yeah. So it painted the way that my experience was with him into something like more nefarious. So at first I was like, and this is what, any victim, not calling myself a victim, I'm a survivor. Just kidding. No, but this is what like you do after you're sexually assaulted, is that you rationalize the fuck out of it. So for months I was like, oh, he didn't hear me say no. He didn't realize how much I was pushing my head away. We were caught up in the moment, whatever. He didn't mean to hurt me. He didn't mean to do this. Surely he wanted my consent or whatever. Like, you rationalize shit like that because you don't think that someone who's in front of you, who has been kind to you otherwise, would be capable of doing something like sort of nefarious to you. And then, as a lot of women were coming forward, some underage, some not, were telling me stories like, oh yeah, he was very insistent with me. And then, just remembering how he'd bring up our age gap and how small I was and stuff like that, just like soured the whole experience for me. Now, does that mean that he's a rapist? No. But is he a creep, and should women have probably come forward so that he could stop being a creep all around the world? Because again, these women were all over the US because he toured with his band.
Right.
And he had like an addiction to Tinder. So there were a lot of women. I mean, and these are just 30 women who followed me. So imagine how many women that there are just like in, the universe after. Because he was a very successful comedian and little musician. So I don't know. That's its own thing. That's its own thing. So if you think I don't know if anyone thinks, if you say my allegation is false, like, I guess fuck you, I don't care. If you think that it's probably that my situation wasn't egregious enough to come forward, I guess you could say that. I think that criticism might be valid if you think that the only people who should come forward are people who have been like raped at gunpoint, which is definitely something that some people believe. But I don't know. I think that women should probably speak up about stuff like that.
It's kind of a funny story in the sense I just imagine like his ass like backing up into your face and you just looking out horrified. That's the
So it's even so that's the way that ABBA and Preach spun it. But I was we were just normal, like he was laying down on his back, and how a woman will suck your dick when you're laying down on your back, and then he pushed my head down and like arched his back so that whatever. But it was a whole thing. But you can imagine that that's probably not as crazy as like, it wasn't like fully ass to mouth. I wasn't like, whatever. But it was just simply weird. It didn't traumatize me in any significant way, but he probably shouldn't be doing stuff like that. So I'm glad that women came forward. And then, so that was the first one. 2, the Hasan Piker thing, which nobody can substantiate otherwise. So if you think that I'm lying just based off of vibes, like kill yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
But like nobody has proved like otherwise. Even him, he like, when he was talking about it, he was like, she's just mad because I didn't fuck her because I had like DM'd with him or something.
Right.
And in those DMs, I don't know if you read all of them, but in them I'm like trying to get a timeline also. I'm like, do you remember this one time that me and her FaceTimed you? Like I was a lot less hot then or whatever, like flirting with them to get a timeline. And he gave me the timeline, so I know exactly when the fuck we talked and whatever. People are going to gaslight me about whatever they're going to gaslight me about. But probably also at that point probably would have fucked Hasan. I'm, whatever. But
fair enough. I mean, you wouldn't be the first.
Yeah, don't shame me, okay? Yeah, don't shame me. I've self-harmed in multiple ways, okay? Hasan would not be the worst thing I've done to my body. Thank you very much.
It's like Destiny and Hasan are like on both sides, different sides of the left, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you are the middle of the horseshoe, right?
Exactly. No, literally. But also I didn't like know who this guy like was really, and then months later I find out that he's like this bleeding heart liberal or leftist who's like against age gaps and all this like other shit, and then I'm like, oh well, that's crazy because I literally like you fucked my friend when she was a teenager. Like that's crazy. And then whatever, he went online and publicly was like, she was 19 and I was 24 or something, and then like said her name.
Yeah.
And you can look up their age gap. If she was 19, he was in his late 20s. He was not 24. Like, so no one caught him on that lie though. No one cared. No one even cared if Hasan was telling the truth. It just fit the narrative that I was a liar because I was going against Steven, because I was saying something critical of Steven, which is really the root of all of it. Because either way, like these two situations by themselves, I think are probably at least somewhat believable to the average person. But obviously there was the fact that I was accusing Steven of, maybe not ethically using his platform.
Right.
And Max mostly, with me in the back of him, under his wing, was accusing him of being like an abuser. Which I didn't believe until, Steven did that like weird lie about something, like he had insinuated that I had told him something about Connor, about how like he couldn't make me come or something, which just fully untrue. Which is when I decided to go full balls to the wall, like, oh, Steven's an abuser. Because I'd never experienced anyone, like, lie out of nowhere like that. So to me, that was like, oh, this person is like a sociopath. Like, first of all, doesn't care how he made me feel, doesn't care, you know, about our relationship at all, and is, like, leveraging his audience and their abuse of me, which he obviously knew at this point they were doing, harassing me, to, like, just say complete lies was, like, crazy to me. But we've since talked about it, and he said, like, the thing that I did actually say, it wouldn't be that far off. Okay, well, this is what I actually said. I said that was the best head of my life. And so he read that as somehow Connor can't make me come. Whatever. It was very, I mean, it was a stretch and a half. Like, it was very much a stretch and a half. But if that's, I'm choosing to believe him when he says that that's what he thought it meant, because I'm trying to be charitable. But in that moment, that was when I was like, oh, like, fuck Steven. Like, that's actually disgusting. But, and up until that point, for 8 months, I had been like, I don't know, I don't think he's a bad guy. I just think he needs to think more about, you know, having sex with people who he has on stream, which I think is a fair criticism, right? Like, I think most people on DGG probably have that criticism. Think more before you have sex with these women, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole thing, but basically that was why the whole thing, like the false allegations thing tarnished my name, is because one happened in the future that people didn't think was worthy, and then another one happened that I didn't care to substantiate, and that nobody actually really cared if it was true or not. It just went with the narrative, and then also I was going against, you know, their parasocial streamer friend. So
right. No, I get what you're saying. The thing I noticed with your pattern though, is you tend to like be very, you tend to talk a lot in the Discord servers. You get clip champed or time stamped or whatever, screenshotted, and then next thing you know, you're in.
Never a watcher. I was never an engager in Twitch poll. Like, I didn't climb the ranks like a lot of people in Twitch poll by being a viewer and then getting on or whatever and being into DGG. I just made my first DGG account like last month. Like, I was never like in it. I met him through like, he was algorithmically served to me on YouTube, and then we were friends. I still never watched his streams until I went on, and then only watched the ones where he talked about me. I had no idea how these people were like just like sharks.
Right.
So I was very naive, very stupid, said a lot of things that, you know, I was also finding out my own, like my place, like I was in between, you know, ideologies. I had just had this like great exodus from OnlyFans, and, you know, realized that I could start using my brain instead of my, you know, holes. And so it was a very transformative time for me. So yeah, I did a lot of things wrong, I think.
Right.
The stupidest thing being thinking that the things I say in Discord isn't going to get back to me. So yeah, if I could go back and change one thing, it would be to, I mean, even like just talking about like my relationship, like I just wouldn't, like it just, I just wasn't. I was just too silly. I was too silly.
Right. True. All right. So there's this tweet that Jessica tweeted out today. And it's something to do with your clip. Something you said on Turkey Tom's stream. But it has something to do with Hasan and the person. And apparently they established the timeline in 2018 when Hasan was where she's 25 now, 17 in 2015. I'll just send you the tweet. I don't want to say anything that'll like get you in trouble or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it, Boomer.
Yeah, sorry. Here you go.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, it's in your DMs.
Because I remember the time.
You remember the time it happened?
Yeah, I remember the time period in which it happened.
Like the events around it, or that it happened? Like, were you there?
I wasn't there. I remember being told afterwards.
Okay. Why did you believe it?
Because they were seen publicly, and she FaceTimed him while we were together.
She FaceTimed Hasan, so why were you hanging out with a 17-year-old, I guess is my question then?
I was also...
But you're 25 now?
Yeah.
So it was 8 years ago?
Yeah.
So 8 years ago, how old was Hasan 8 years ago?
He was about 26.
8 years ago, he was not 26. Is he 34?
33 now.
Yeah.
What the
So the only photo I could find was 2018, the math not mathing. Anyone got any insight? Yeah, like you think the first time they hung out, they took a photo together? I don't know, like...
Yeah.
Like, if that's what you think, then sure. If you're trying to find evidence of when they first started talking and your evidence is a photo of them in a car, like...
Okay.
This is like another thing. It's like, do I care to ever substantiate this? No, one, because I also don't really care even if she was 17, right? Like, I don't really care about shit like that. Do I think he's probably a creep for it? Yeah, but do I think he should have any real consequences for it? Probably not. So it's not even something that I think is worth it. Also, I'm like outing my friend's personal business that she's told me she doesn't want me to do.
Right.
So I'm not going to go like crazy trying to prove that I'm right or whatever. This is not my fight. Like, I shouldn't have said anything about their relationship, and I definitely am not going to keep saying things about their relationship.
Yeah, no, and if you're saying like I shouldn't have said anything to begin with, then there's really nothing I can really say. Like,
yeah, but if you're retarded enough to be like, this is the first time they hung out, like you're actually brain dead. So kill yourself.
Okay, well there you go, Jessica. All right, yeah, fair enough. All right, so moving on to like some more like brighter topics, I guess. No more like accusations and R wording and pedophiles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, all right, I didn't know much about you. I knew that you were kind of like this crazy girl in Twitch poll that was accusing Destiny of stuff. And then like you started tweeting and stuff. We started interacting, and I was like, I'm gonna watch some clips. And I saw a couple clips that jokes you've made. I saw you on Kick or Keep. I thought you were funny. And then I was like, wait, she sings music. So I went to go listen to some of your music, and I genuinely, like, I'm gonna sound like a total fucking simp right now, but I genuinely think it's really good. So like my question would be, how'd you go from like getting shouted out by Billie Eilish to now you're
squandering all of my career opportunities?
Yeah. You were there. You were on top. You blew it.
Yeah, I didn't. People keep thinking that like there's two things. It's like one that I failed somehow at music, so this is what I'm doing now. Yeah. Or two, that I don't know. That's like the biggest one. And the real thing is that like I worked for 2 years to get out of my label deal. Mm-hmm. I hated making music.
Oh, really?
I mean, at least under a label, which is like I made most of my music under a label. My first love has always been writing. Mm-hmm. Songwriting is fun. Poetry is my first love. I like writing my little substacks. People seem to enjoy those also. I'm hoping to write a book. I'm writing a little bit. I've wrote a little bit of it this year. That was my New Year's resolution, is to fucking finish it, because I've been telling myself I'm going to finish it for like 3 years.
Yeah.
But writing is my thing. I think I can carry a tune enough, but singing was never like my thing. I'm not very talented on any sort of instrument. Mostly I'm an appreciator of music. Music is like my life. I grew up in the same house as a blues musician, my grandpa. So music was always in the house. I consider myself to have very good music taste. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it just wasn't my dream. And I don't know, it happened on accident that I got like the Billie Eilish shout out. It was really, she shouted me out because she found me through Twitter. So I used to run like an 80K or to 100K, I forget, follower account on Twitter. And I was friends with all of like these big meme accounts on Twitter back in like 2018. Mm-hmm. And I was like just kind of cranking out viral tweets. Like I just had a ton that were hitting like millions or hundreds of thousands of views. And under one of them, where I talk about my vagina, literally, like that's my whole modus operandi, is talking about my vagina or ass in some way. I like linked my SoundCloud in the way that people used to do under tweets, like listen to my song or whatever. And I guess Phineas, her brother, had found it and saw it, sent it to Billie, and then Billie posted on her story. And that was crazy. And then she kept talking about me for like weeks and months even. And then she went on Good Morning America and was like, she was asked what song she wished that she wrote, like if she could write any songs. And she mentioned my song For Me the Moon, which was crazy. I mean, immediately I dry heaved, which is crazy. I mean, I wasn't even really like a fan of Billie Eilish. I think she was probably a little young for me. I just never got super into her music, but still, like, just the acknowledgement of someone that famous and that talented, shouting me out was huge. And then, I was signed, and I think I was already signed before that. Yeah, I was signed before that, but only briefly, maybe for a couple months. Then my fucking team totally shit it. They totally shit it. And then they told me that, like, I would never be able to do folk because I had an OnlyFans, so I could only do pop. So they tried to, put me in this pop position, but I only wanted to do folk. And then it was like, people wanted me to be very sexualized
very seductive. You were like a vampire or something, right? And like,
it was like a whole bunch of stuff that I just like didn't like. I didn't like the creative direction of anything. Also, I had gained a bunch of weight so I had struggled with an eating disorder.
Mhm.
Like most of my life, all of a sudden I gained like 30 pounds, and then my manager's like, let's do a bunch of music videos, and I'm like, I'll kill myself. So now all of those, me and my fat era is immortalized forever.
Come on.
Well, it's fat to me. To me, it's fat. To me, it's fat.
Yeah, I get it. Eating disorder. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I think I was like 135 pounds, which is it's on the higher side of my BMI for being 5'1". But
yeah, fair enough.
I'm a perfect 113 now. Thank you. I'm skinny as a needle. I'm skinny as a needle now.
Encouraging your downfall.
No, but yeah, it just wasn't. I don't know. It just was never my dream. I just didn't want to do it. And then the more outspoken I got, politics wise, the less that bodes well for your, especially me being me. I've always been very like counterculture, very anti-political correctness, which is hard to do when you're trying to make music, and it the label was sick of hearing that I had said the N-word somewhere or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but they still wouldn't drop me. I still had to fucking beg them to drop me. And
yeah,
they did.
I always heard it's
shout out
to record deal.
Records.
Yeah.
At Ultra Music, but
yeah,
it was.
I've heard like a lot of SoundCloud rappers get stuck in record deals and they can't get out of it and stuff like
that. Oh
god,
and it was so predatory. I made very little. I won't say how much I made, but I made very little money for the amount of streams that I got, and now I will never own any of my music again, which super sucks. And I signed when I was homeless. And 19, so it they just totally, at that point you think that something like $30,000 is a fuck ton of money, but it's not, and it goes very quickly, especially if you live in LA. And
and then you're stuck, right?
And then you're stuck in that deal, and whatever. But the whole thing, it was a good learning experience. But and it was crazy to have done, right? Like not a lot of people are hobbyist singers and then get recognized like that. And I did like Paper Magazine and NME and like a whole bunch of magazine editorials and interviews and stuff. And it was really cool. My this is so funny. My PR person was Ariel Pink's PR person around the same time that the insurrection happened, when Ariel Pink was there. So that was also pretty funny. Because Ariel Pink is also known for being a bit of a crazy. So they definitely hired the right person, I guess, for both of us. Yeah. But
what was your favorite song you did? During your career, your short career as a musician?
I did a cover of a Sparkle Horse song. And that's probably my favorite. It's the song Spirit Ditch. It's got the least attention. I also didn't do any PR for any of my songs, so all the streams you're seeing are completely organic, which I'm really appreciative of. Nowadays, a lot of people are paying to get their songs played on TikTok or things, to get these inflated plays or something, or pay people to put you on playlists and stuff on Spotify. And everything I ever did was completely organic, so that's very beautiful to me. I really, really love that. But Spirit Ditch, which isn't even my song, it's Sparkle Horse's song, but I think my take on it was really, I don't know, I made it it was already sort of dream pop, but I made it like a Lana Del Rey sort of sultry dream pop, and I really liked that. And I don't know, Sardine song was sweet, but obviously, From Me the Moon put me on the map, so I have to appreciate that song.
I liked the what was it, Reds or Red or something like that?
Oh yeah, that was a fun one. That was a fun one to film. Also, I did the creative direction for that music video.
I can tell. That seemed like your type of music video.
Yeah, that was also very fat. I can't even watch it now because I'm I literally won't eat for a week if I do. But I also had struggles with my fucking everyone in that fucking industry wants to fucking suck your soul. Mm-hmm. And the director that I had worked with, who had been my friend, I basically directed this whole fucking video, and then she was mad that she wanted to get paid $30,000 for it, which is fucking ridiculous. And then it was a whole thing where she was upset because I wanted to be the director on it, because I was the director. I literally did everything for it. And that she would be the producer, and she didn't. She was no, I'm a director, and so whatever. These fucking LA people, I can't. I'm so glad that I moved. I fucking hate everyone there. I think it should be bought. I think there should be everyone in California should be made into hot dogs or something. But everyone's just so hard to deal with in that industry. I'm so glad I'm out of it. I'm glad that I'm hanging out with autistic retards now.
Welcome. We're here. So I mean, I
Yeah,
hope,
actually, you know,
hope
you'd be
stick around.
surprised that you're not. You'd be surprised that even with what I've gone through.
Actually, you might be
here.
right, because I've been seeing a lot of weird shit in like the Twitch poll area that even make us go, "What the fuck is going on over there?" So, yeah.
Yeah, it is. People are strange. People are just so strange. People are strange.
Yeah. All right. I got a couple more questions. I know you got to get out of here soon.
I'm fine.
Are you fine? Okay, because you wanted to start.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I
didn't know how long this would go. I thought it was going to be 2 hours.
No. We usually do like an hour to hour 30.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm good at least for another. I'm good for another hour, but at least for another 30, if that's what.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Did you ever strike any of Chud Logic videos down?
Yes.
So what's the context of that?
Because I can.
Oh, God. Okay.
Like, what do you? He was saying horrible things about me, lying about me, and talking about, you know, my fiance and his job. Of course I'm gonna fucking strike those videos down. Also, they make me look like shit. Yeah, of course I'm gonna strike those down. Are you kidding me?
Okay, but like, yeah, but people are allowed to go on and like, they're not allowed to like dox or whatever. But I don't think he was doxing or anything. Or
no, he kept talking about like my personal things and stuff, and painting me in like a very strange light. And honestly, that's not my problem. I can strike whatever the fuck I want. If you have a problem with it, take it up with YouTube. If YouTube took any of those videos down, they saw something wrong with it. So I hope he fucking kills himself. I have no empathy for Chud Logic. I literally, you know, I hope he gets everything he wants in his life, and I hope it's not enough. I hope he dies unhappy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think Chud Logic's a swell guy.
I actually, you know, I think Chud Logic is a rapist and a pedophile. So.
All right. What about Stardust? Yeah, how do you feel about Stardust?
No thoughts, really.
No thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've already said a lot of words about Zonia.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Any opinions on Darius?
Sick. It's very sad that I think Darius should be in a conservatorship. Like, I think someone should take away his access to the internet. It's very sad. One of my first, before I ever knew that he was a streamer, he was in a group chat I was in with a couple people who was like an offshoot from DGG.
Yeah.
And first conversation I ever had with him, he was telling me that he was like, he had to have someone like lock away the knives in his house because he was going to stab himself because he was so sad about like him and Sushia breaking up or something. And I was just like, you are like, this is unhinged. Like, he's just very, very sick. And I don't know if he's okay with like being milked, or if that's like if any attention is good attention, but it makes me very uncomfortable the way that all these people in Twitch poll take advantage of this poor kid. Like, it just sucks. I don't know.
We had him on for an interview. He seemed like an alright guy. He was pretty chilled out.
Yeah, but he's chill when you talk to him like this, but
yeah,
you know, obviously he's going through stuff, and I don't know.
He's very
not my content, not my kind of content.
Yeah, fair enough. It kind of is ours sometimes, but we don't really take advantage of it. But we just like
whatever. I'm sure you do. You little sociopath.
Yeah,
come on,
tiny bit. Not not that much. Yeah. We never reacted to you like having your fits. Your little
my fit. You mean my fits?
Yeah, your
plural?
fits. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because if you would have, I would have struck them. So.
Well, see, that's why I'm flirting with you now.
Yeah, well, maybe it works, or maybe you're using sexuality to rape me. Maybe you are raping me right now.
Okay, see, that's funny, but at the same time, you did that to Destiny with joking. Now I'm worried.
Should be. Maybe you should be.
I think I should be.
Yeah.
You had some. Did you ever have issues with Cherry? Or,
yes.
Yeah.
Me and Cherry did have issues. Overall, I think Cherry's like extremely disagreeable and hard to get along with. I say this neutrally. I don't say this is like a bad thing or like a positive thing. I think I'm this way as well. But especially with me, I think was hard. And also, she did this like 2-week streams about me going over everything I said and then painting everything I said in like a very strange light to try to like catch me being like a bad person or a liar or something, and they were all very surface level and weird, but I don't know, it directed a lot of hate to me, and that's like the most stream views she'd gotten in like a year was going over my content, and she was very, I don't know, our relationship was just strange. She like very much hated me, and then obviously after she had the falling out with Steven. We've been pretty cool. There was never any like conversation after that to be like, oh, you were like, we're friends now. We've just sort of kind of been around each other and friendly to each other. And then after she had her miscarriage, you know, I was like, okay, I'm calling a ceasefire. No more, no more, you know, just attacking you. Because I feel like also people are doing that enough. So yeah, it's just sort of been like a natural progression into like just friendly acquaintances. But we had a little bit of beef for a second.
Yeah.
Started by her. But once you start beef with me, like I'm going to kill you. I'm vengeful.
Noted.
I'm vengeful.
Very much noted there.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, not so erudite. I'm not familiar with her at all, but I know you guys had like this big debate.
Disgusting
recently.
whore. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. You know what? I don't. This is gonna come off as very backhanded and condescending, mostly because it is. I feel bad for Kyla. Like I, you know, there was a point where I like really disliked her. This was like a month ago. But I really do feel bad, especially after Cherry's like expose on Kyla. It just comes off as, you know, Kyla's very insecure, very, you know, predisposed to hide. You know, I said that she was boring, which I think that she still is. And I think that her career is capped also. Like, I think that she hasn't made any sort of substantial name for herself outside of Destiny or takes any unique takes for herself outside of Destiny. She doesn't necessarily have any expertise in anything. There's no, like, you know, one topic that she really guns for, which you need if you want to be an internet personality. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like her, mostly just because I don't like people who I think are fake. Which she is, but she has her own reasons to be fake, and honestly, probably they've saved her from a lot of the shit that I've had to go through, right? Like, you know, her keeping a lot of her personal life private, or her not attacking people, or her being more reserved has probably boded well for her and her, you know, natural life in a way that I just don't fundamentally understand, and that's probably why I've had such a hard time online. But yeah, it just comes off as very contrived, and I don't trust her, and she's boring to watch, and she sucks, and she has no backbone, and, you know, she, like, the last debate that we had or whatever on the JSTLK stream, where she had, like, said that I was, like, a liar or something, but then, like, couldn't substantiate, and then I found out that she was the one who lied to Steven about me and Max's relationship, and then got caught in the lie, and then wouldn't admit it, and it just comes off as fucking desperate. She just comes off as desperate to me, and as much as that makes me happy to say, it also makes me sad. I don't know. Especially to be aging and childless, and I think their marriage is also strange and on the rocks. I don't know. It just makes me sad. I don't know. All these women who are like 30 makes me sad on Twitch poll. This is, I think, my last year. I think this is my last year.
Come to comment.
Well, no, I think I will do commentary. I'm making another video essay right now. My first video essay did pretty good. It got like 21k views, with like very little publication or not publication, very little pressing. Yeah. Very little press, and you know, for a first video, that's not bad. So I think I'll move over into that instead of doing like weird little like panels and, you know, sitting in these weird little spaces, but. I don't know. I want to get pregnant next year. I want to get so pregnant next year. So I don't know. I want to start a family and do my thing. I'm really just buying time until my man sells his company, and then we can just do other things. But I'm so bored now because he works so much that I have to keep myself occupied with these retards. So
yeah, fair enough.
Kyla wants to make it a career, which is that's how I was gonna conclude that. Is that to anyone who's over 30 and wants to make this their career, I don't know. I think it's an interesting choice to make, I think.
Some of us just got nothing to lose at some point, and we just
I guess.
Yeah,
I guess. Do what you want. Whatever makes you happy. Find what you love and let it kill you, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see. All right. So there's been criticism of you that you kind of like change your personality as you're a singer and you're kind of virtuous, and now you're on Kick or Keep, and you're like dropping N-bombs and stuff. Like, yeah. So, how do you view yourself now? Like, do Do you purposely change yourself, or is this just like how you've always been? You just kind of protect your brand at some point.
Well, I've never understood this idea that I should be one way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm very multifaceted. I've been saying nigger since like 7th grade.
Okay.
Like I don't. There was a time where
glad this is recorded.
there was a time where I couldn't, especially for a couple years when it was really hard out there.
California?
Yeah, nobody actually fucking cares is the thing. Like nobody actually fucking cares. It's like it's very online to think that anyone cares. I grew up in minority dominant areas. Nobody fucking cared.
Well, I know they don't care. But I'm from Georgia. I thought the people in California.
No. People care now, but growing up, no, not at all. I've gotten canceled so many times over the years for saying the N-word, or for people finding me saying the N-word, or finding whatever in little chat rooms and stuff. That it's very confusing to me how people think that I've just suddenly become very edgy, because this has always been my personality. I've never been a nice girl. I'm very like I said, I'm very male socialized. I can shoot the shit. I make really nasty, cheap jokes because that's what I have a childish sense of humor. I'm a raunchy sense of humor. And I also really care about, feminist policy. I also really care about women if they're not fat. I also really care about just kidding. Just kidding. I care about fat women too.
That's good.
But no, I just don't understand why you have to be one thing. And I think that people like that I'm not one thing. I think that's why people like to watch me. And it's like this, this dichotomy that people are constantly mad at me because of the way I act, but they can't look away. And I don't, not to toot my own horn, but most of the content I'm on is good content. Like when I go on Kick or Keep, that's not me. I'm not being my full genuine self like I am just talking to you, being having a conversation and doing whatever. Obviously I have to play it up. People were really upset that I said that I had a perfect rack or something and showed them. This is a fucking Jerry Springer show.
Wait, did you show your tits?
I pretended to and showed a little bit of them. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say I missed that.
But because someone had said that they were. The other girl had said that hers were fake, and that she was like, "How could a set of boobs be this perfect? Of course they're fake." And I was like, "Well, mine are that perfect, and they're real." In just a very cocky, arrogant, entertainment way, and people were really mad. They were like, "Wow, her personality's so bad." But you gotta play to your audience, and that's what the people wanted to see, and it made the panel go up in an uproar. And I don't know, maybe I'm just business brained, where I'm you gotta do shock stuff, and you gotta do whatever. I guess it's just marketing, and I don't know. I think above all else, even if I do have causes that I really care about, I try to maintain a good sense of humor. I don't know. People really hate that I am more than one thing, and sometimes they're at odds with each other, but that is the most human thing. I don't get it.
It is kind of weird that you go on the whatever podcast, you're wearing the beret and all that shit, and then next thing you know, you're dropping N-bombs.
Okay, first of all, that's how I dress. Another thing is that they thought, the girls in your last podcast said that I was making some sort of political statement with the way that I dress. That is how I dress. I know that that's I mean, if you've seen in my Instagram ever, I love vintage fashion. I'm very into maximalist, whatever. And basically whatever podcast said on their paper or rules or whatever, they were dress dress like club party wear. It's gonna be really hot in the room. So basically wanting you to dress like a hooker. And I was like, no, I'm gonna wear as much clothes as possible.
You're gonna dress like it's 1945.
No, but can I be so honest also? I did not know who Che Guevara was before that. I didn't. Can I be so honest? I'm not really. I'm a socialist on accident. I don't have I've never read a bunch of socialist praxis, or I've read some communist stuff. I've been introduced through a lot of Marx, just even being online, and being
you never saw the
Democrat.
Of him back in the day when
I've of course seen it, but it didn't in my mind register. So no, I didn't do that on purpose. I do just dress like that. Also, I got a really bad haircut that week, and so covering my hair was like a non-negotiable. I absolutely had to do that. And I love my little fucking 90s Kangol hat. It's like a little 90s Kangol beret. And then I felt fat in my jumpsuit, so I kept my jacket on the whole time. It really was not like any sort of like political statement. If I were to go on again, which I probably won't, but if I were to go on again, I'd probably dress like a hooker too.
Yeah.
Like it just really wasn't. I don't know. That was just the vibe I was in. It wasn't really a choice.
When the camera turns off on the whatever podcast, is like that image like from the host, his image or whatever? Does he drop?
Everyone actually ceases to exist. It's sort of like the Thanos snap. Brian actually just doesn't. He actually short circuits.
Yeah.
And you find out that he's actually just a meat suit with like 4 rats stacked on top of each other, and there's actually no humans like anywhere in the premises. Yeah.
It's just like you're just drifting in space now, and there's nothing matters anymore.
Yeah, and there's nothing and no one, and you're alone and you're scared and it's cold.
Were you did you ever have the thought like, I can't believe I'm on this fucking podcast, or because it's a shitty podcast?
I knew what it was when I got onto it. I really just wanted to go on and farm clout and have people tell me that I was so smart and beautiful, and the reason one goes on the fucking podcast, of course. But I knew what it was. I knew that I didn't realize that girl. I mean, that girl wanted to fight me. Like the girl who was sitting next to me was like, "Lower your voice," and I was just like, I wish I could go back and say "or what," like just look her dead in the face and say "or what," but I didn't. I was scared because I'm not a girl who wants to fight other women like her.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a fun experience, and Brian was very respectful, and I wrote an article for Evie magazine about the Whatever podcast, and I'm making a video essay about it right now, so you'll have access to that soon.
Okay.
But it's basically just talking about like how there's like it's a character study. It's like it's written like a script would be written for like a play. So like there's the stage, you put a bunch of people of opposite sexes in the same room with microphones. That's a stage. And then enter the horror, enter the eunuch, enter the capitalist. And I'm sure that you could find out which one is which, or who's who. And then it's like a character study on all these things, which I thought was clever, because I always think that everything I do is clever. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. I don't think these trash fire podcasts are going away anytime soon.
I just don't like the format of like 10 people. I don't like it. The 10 people sitting around a table, and I don't know. And
it's same questions, and it's too long. I mean, it's like a 6-hour podcast.
Yeah. Let's
it's
farm as much money as possible, so.
Yeah, it's very. That's what I talk about in the article that you'll have access to soon. But yeah.
All right. What the fuck does steaming your vagina mean?
A Yoni steam. Basically, you sit over a pot with a bunch of herbs, and you steam your puss. You get like your little water in there, and it sweats, and it's supposed to get all the toxins out. And I have had some issues with my cycle. Did someone put bleach somewhere? Hold on, I'm like smelling.
Might be having a stroke. Kidding.
Don't stop. Is that true? Is that real?
No,
do people
no,
smell
I swear
bleach?
to God, I swear to God, no, it's burnt toast. It's not bleach.
Okay, yeah, there's something smell. I think Connor probably cleaned or something. Hold on, let me actually text him because I might be having a stroke.
You're not having a stroke.
And now I'm gonna have a actual hypochondriac episode.
Whoops.
Hold on. Smells like cleaning supplies. Help. Police. Okay, sent.
All right.
So, so I've had a lot of issues with my menses, because I have endometriosis. And so I
I had a girlfriend with that. I get word.
Yeah, 1 in 4 women have it. It's like super common. So I was trying to find like a bunch of things to like help my period be regular and whatever, and I heard of Yoni steaming because I would dabble in like silly pagan things because I've always thought that they were fun, and I never grew out of it from like high school. And on like these forums, African witches talked about Yoni steaming, and I was like, oh, I would love to try this. And so I steamed my vagina. Lo and behold, my cycle completely regular from then on. So it could be placebo, I don't know, but it was nice, and I still have my little stool that I sit on, and I don't do it all the time now, but it is fun to do, and it's fun to do with your gal pals, and it is just funny to do also. So
Also, one question I have, this is how you came on my radar a year ago because I saw this picture. Can you not post pictures of you in the bathtub with period blood floating around in the
No,
bathtub?
you want me to
please?
stop doing that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, no, kill yourself. I'm gonna do that forever.
They look like ticks, like floating. Ugh, it was weird.
Yeah, I mean, grow up. Grow up. The female
No.
body is beautiful and it's transformative and it's amazing. It's strong.
Yeah, you know what else is transformative? Chud Logic's content. Stop striking them down.
Yeah,
So
no,
how
I
about
don't
that?
think so. When he stops making retarded, videos, then I'll stop posting my period blood in the bath.
Bet I will DM him and we'll get that together.
Yeah,
And we'll
get it
figure that
happen.
out.
Get it to
Yeah,
happen.
I'll make it happen. I make things happen in commentary. I think I
You're a
can work that
mover
out.
and a shaker.
You're damn right. You know, I have one leg, but I move around a lot. You know.
Do you have one leg?
Yeah.
Why do you have one leg?
All right. I've been waiting for you to ask me this question for a while.
Okay.
All right. Don't interrupt me because it's gonna be all right. The reason why I lost my leg was in the war. The war in obtaining your heart. Huh? Okay, I didn't really lose my.
Not your best, and I barely know you.
Sorry, that was in the chamber for a while. I didn't lose my leg in the war though. No stolen valor here. I lost it to. It depends on what kind of personality you have. You're either gonna find the story really sad or really funny. I think you're gonna find this really funny.
Okay.
When I was always a big guy in high school, but I wasn't a fat guy. I was a big guy. I played high school football, and then I graduated. Yeah, offensive lineman, pretty big. I was a big dude. All area, right guard. So
you're still in the early days.
So I graduated high school, and then I start eating a lot, and I quit working out. I gained a bunch of weight. I get up to like 316. I was a fat fuck. So I start working out. I start jogging, all that good stuff, eating right, and I fucking drop like 100 pounds, right? And then all of a sudden, like my foot started going numb, and the artery behind my knee became.
Oh no, you got
entrapped.
DVT.
Yeah, it became entrapped. The popliteal artery became entrapped, and that turned into DVT, which turned into like the whole thing. And they tried to save the leg for 7 hours, but nope, didn't work out.
Fuck, how bad did that hurt?
Oh, the DVT was super painful. The amputation, but in the hospital it wasn't that bad because I was fucked up on morphine the whole time.
Yeah.
So I was having a good time in the hospital, and then when I get out of the hospital, it kind of sets in, and you're like, oh fuck, now I gotta live this. Now I gotta live life like this.
Yeah. Was there ever a moment where you were like scared you were gonna die?
No, the surgeon never really, because it wasn't traveling, it was stuck like in my leg. So I had no worry of it. Like I had no worry of it moving anywhere, but just the fact that.
Do they know why you got it?
Yeah, from running, from jogging. My artery behind my knee became entrapped from working out and all that. As a military guy, it's very rare. It's astronomically rare. But a lot of military people get it, like people who jog a lot, people who work out, like stuff like that. They get either compartment syndrome or entrapment syndrome. I had entrapment syndrome, and it wasn't caught in time. Usually they catch it, and it's just like a quick surgery, you're good to go. Mine did just what I can't really go into it, but mine just was not caught in time. So yeah.
Whoa, scary.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you're alive and you just are missing a leg now.
Well, you're not that much of an asshole because I figured you were going to be like, wait, you lost your leg from working out from lose to
no
lose, right?
That's not funny. Medical stuff is scary. I'm the first one to know about medical stuff. I had that heart condition. It's scary. It's scary.
What's the condition called again?
Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome.
Okay, and that involves like the heart skipping beats or something like that.
No, so it basically is your heart has like electrical cells all over inside, and basically Wolff-Parkinson-White is in like, I think it's there's a bunch of fibers in the heart, but like there's extra fibers if you have Wolff-Parkinson-White, and there's more electrical currents. So sometimes your heart, if you have something called a premature ventricular contraction, which most people do, if you've ever felt your heart like do one big beat, 75% of the population feels them every once in a while. So if that happens to me, or before I had my surgery, if that happened to me, there was this chance that my electricity receptors got transferred over to these other cells that got stuck at 270 beats per minute. So that's unideal. Your heartbeat should be in between 60 and 90. So 270 is too, it hurts, and if it goes on for too long, it can, you can get heart block and a heart attack, which is what happened to me.
Right.
And also, if you have Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, you're more likely to have atrial fibrillation. And if you have atrial fibrillation with the supraventricular tachycardia, which is when your which is when your heart is going really fast like that,
Mhm.
you have sudden cardiac death syndrome. So your heart
Right.
just stops.
Okay.
And like most athletes who like drop dead,
Mhm.
like college athletes or whatever, or most like sudden cardiac deaths are due to Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, but it's people who didn't
Right.
know that they had it.
Mhm.
So yeah, it is potentially scary, but now I just have like PTSD from it. Apparently, I have even less risk than the average person for sudden cardiac death, but
Oh, nice.
it's still it's still really scary.
Yeah.
And
No, I get it. It's
not
like
knowing what I had for a couple of months was scary also,
Yeah.
because they had to like do an EP study inside of my heart, and yeah, it was all.
I'm the same way. Like it is scary. Like every now and then, like my other foot, my left leg falls asleep, and I'm like, is this it? Like, yeah,
Dude,
you know. So
oh my god, it's so bad. I've developed that's why I take Klonopin. I have a really bad panic disorder. I've always had it, but now it focuses on like hypochondria stuff, like my health.
Mhm.
So I have really bad health anxiety, dude. Oh my god. I went into urgent care on Wednesday actually because this is an overshare, but I hope that you love it. I've had diarrhea for 6 days straight, so 7 days now.
I know that you had. I follow you on Twitter. I know
have
that.
colitis. I have colitis.
Oh, okay.
But because I have celiac disease, so they think that I have like another
Okay.
autoimmune condition now because I guess they pair up or whatever. I don't know. Who cares? I'm Jewish. Something's wrong with my stomach. Normal stuff. But I went in just for diarrhea, and for some reason I thought that I was gonna die at the urgent care, so I got my heart rate up to like 160, and I went like hypertensive, like blood pressure like 160 just out of anxiety. The doctor's just like
white coat syndrome.
yes, exactly, that's what they call it. Yeah,
too,
white coat syndrome. So they just tell me every single time like, fucking relax, you're good. Like I used to know right when I got diagnosed with my heart condition, I was really like, that was when my anxiety was at its worst, and that was also a couple months before the whole Steven thing happened. So I was having a hard year. But I went into the ER like at least 4 times a month, and it was the same ER every time. They knew me by name. They knew what drugs to give me right away, and they just fucking sent me home. And I every time there was like a new nurse, this happened for like probably 4 months. Every time there was like a new nurse or a training nurse, they'd be like, "This is Kyla. She's fucking retarded. Like, she just give her, the Klonopin and send her up. She's fine."
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's pretty. Health anxiety is brutal.
Yeah, no, I have the situation. I hate going to the doctor because every time I go to the doctor, I get worked up, and then they take my blood pressure, and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "That's not the right question to ask."
EKG. Yeah, exactly, exactly. They're like, "So is your heart usually this fast?" I'm like, "I don't know. Am I dying?" Like, yeah. So it's good if they put it on your file though. Like, do not share with them their results.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always had that. Even before I lost my leg, I had issues with that. Like when I was in the hospital, I did physical therapy, and I was still like hooked up to all the things. And the physical therapist was like, "Oh yeah, your heart rate's still high." And I was like, "I just got done working out, man. What are you doing?" Like,
yeah.
And then the fucking surgeon comes in. He's like, I'm like, the physical therapist said my heart rate was high. Am I okay? He's like, "Yeah, you're fine. You were just working out. You're good." Like, and I'm like,
yeah.
Like, tell everybody else that.
Yeah, I know, dude. I just met someone recently in a Discord call who was like, "Yeah, I have like an enlarged ventricle. My atrium is falling apart. Oh, God, I hope this means that I hope this doesn't mean that I have to stop working out." And I'm just sitting there like with my jaw open, like I'm scared to take a walk sometimes in case like my heart stops. I don't know. These people, but yeah, it's a certain type of person. What sect of military were you in?
I wasn't in. That was a joke. I wasn't in the military.
I thought that you said that you were in the military, but it was unrelated. Okay.
No. I was never in the joke was the war thing. I was never in the military.
You said something later. You said something later that people I don't know. I just picked up on something. I just wanted you to be a veteran because I just love veterans so much.
No. My co-host is a veteran, but I'm not a veteran. I played football and all that stuff, and that's
kind of like war.
Yeah. It's like war. Right?
In high school is war, honestly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been through worse than a lot of people who were sent to Afghanistan, frankly.
Actually, if you think about it, we've all been through war. Like you've been through war with the Twitch poll, right? You're pretty much a veteran.
Yeah, that was just like war. Being a girl on the internet is war every day.
Seriously,
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, all the people that say horrible things about you is tough, bro.
Yeah, like all of those like useless, fat, ugly bitches you had on talking about me like last week is just like war. It's just like war.
The one that sounds old, that's Xylee, she got called Alabama Lav on Destiny stream when he was reacting to something. He was like, "Is that it sounds like Alabama Lav." I don't know if you ever heard that, but
every woman is me. Everything TBG doesn't like is me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
God.
last question I got is from not one of the girls that was on the stream, but one of the I don't know if you know who Ginger Ramoth is. She just started like interacting with Destiny, but I asked.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I asked her to send me some questions. She sent me this. She said, "You and Destiny both have said that you aggressively flirt with him in DMs. You having been the one to initiate, and then you say it's weird. He seems to try to fuck his female orbiter. We all know from my previous question that you I'm just summarizing her question. That you don't have any issues using sex as a so-called weapon to intimidate the men around you. I guess my question would be, why, if being sexualized was the reason you got into the sex industry, and that you have an issue with the industry, do you continue to sexualize yourself even when that's not the topic of the conversation?
Well, I think I answered this in like the first 20 minutes of the show, like just how, it's really hard to be, especially coming off of like being a sex worker for as long as I was, like the better half of a decade, to like to be self-aware enough to understand like how much you're sexualizing yourself. Like sometimes I'll be with my guy friends hanging out and I'll say something really sexualizing myself around them, and they're like, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this right now?" And it's like, I don't know. It's sort of like it's sort of like when a dog like smiles or shows you its stomach. It's sort of like a submissive, like, don't hurt me behavior. And then obviously I can also weaponize it to get what I want, right? We talked about that in the first, where that was, potentially what I thought that I was doing with Steven initially, is, using my sexuality to get something that I wanted. But also, that's not necessarily like a healthy, good thing. But I think also on the left, and at least I'd been brainwashed to believe through like media and seeing all these OnlyFans girls and sugar babies, like that's okay to like use. So like there's two things going on in culture right now, especially on the left. One, women are being told to use their sexuality to get what they want, and also they're being treated like children, and the Me Too movement happened. So these two things simultaneously are diametrically opposed, and together they're a fucking mess together. So I got caught exactly in that intersection of culture telling me to use my body. Obviously, this isn't me, trying not to take accountability. I obviously understand what I did wrong. But, still, just where my brain was at then, like, yes, I can do whatever I want with my body. I'm like a strong, powerful woman. And then also potentially being uncomfortable with the ramifications of that behavior, right? So, I think to answer that question, like, I'm human. I don't know. And I also think that, Max getting in my head made me think that I was more of a victim than I was. I don't even like the word victim, frankly. And I'm still, I don't know, there is a part of me also that is like really almost mad at myself for taking that accountability and not holding Steven to some sort of accountability, because I'm still sort of mad at him. Like I am still sort of mad at the way that that whole thing went down and whatever, and the way that he, didn't protect me and didn't let me know what I was up for, with DGG, and, the way that he painted me to his audience. Like, I would have never have guessed that I would have had, this sexual experience with someone, and then, like, weeks later, they're telling their whole audience of thousands of people that I'm, like, manipulative. And this is while we were still friends, frankly. Like, this is, like, that I'm extremely manipulative, and that I use Darvo techniques, and that, it was crazy. It was just very jarring to experience that, and I don't know. I don't know. It was just weird. The whole thing's weird.
Yeah. Well, that's all my questions, Lab. I want to thank you for coming on. Do you want to say anything that you want to address, or anything else that I think that you think I didn't go into, or anything of that nature?
Not that I know of. Maybe you need better co-host. I mean, literally, the last podcast was impossible to watch. You need to be choosier.
Okay, well, those
I've
aren't my
experienced your content before, but holy cow!
All right, that's those aren't our co-hosts. All right, Jessica and Xylee came on because, like, if it was just me and Beavers, we would have just like said you were hot the whole time. So we at least needed some sort of pushback. So that was our idea. But no.
Well, keep me on retainer. This is my pitch to you. Keep me on retainer instead. I can become a third sort of, on and off part-time co-host.
Actually, I was going to bring this up. You got the role. We do live streams as well. You got the
Okay.
role. You can pop when we're live streaming. You can pop in at any time you want, and I want to set up you versus Jessica at some point.
I
And
would,
we
yeah,
can
I
do
would love to do that. I would love to
Yeah.
do Jessica and Jessica. Well, I don't know what these
Xylee.
Yeah, I don't. I would love to
Uh,
have a versus. I'd
Yeah.
love to have a versus.
I don't know if Xylee will do it, but Jessica's been just been wanting to do this for so long. She's
Just clout hungry.
No, what? I mean, she has been accused of being clout hungry, yes, but she really does
Is
not
this
like
the one
it.
with the wigs?
Yes. This is the one I make
Oh,
cry.
okay, wait. I'll talk to her when she shows her real hair.
I mean, she's really had hair before. She has, like, yeah, yeah, she
Is she
has.
bald? Does she have like some
No,
alopecia?
she
She
should.
She
No.
strikes me as someone who's like bald.
No, she just likes wearing. She's just like another girl with BPD. She likes wearing wigs. You know, like they all like wearing. I don't know.
Does she have BPD, or are you just
No,
saying
I'm
that because
I'm
she's a
just saying.
woman?
I assume that every woman in
You're
this
so
community.
annoying. You're so
Every-
annoying. That's the last thing that I'll say is that I do not have BPD.
Okay.
I was diagnosed with BPD when I was 14, which you can't do.
Uh-huh.
And every 14-year-old girl on the planet has fucking BPD.
Yeah.
I've gone over the diagnostic criteria on stream before. I meet almost none of the requirements. I don't have a fear of abandonment, whatever. I am, however, probably histrionic, which is in the same cluster. And what histrionic means is I'm just very cool, charismatic, sexy, desirable, perfect, smart, intelligent. It's hard for people to see all those qualities in one person, so I understand.
It sounds like you're a narcissist, if I'm being honest with you.
Also in the same cluster. No, I'm just about being a narcissist sometimes, but I think I read somewhere that worrying about being a narcissist means that you probably aren't one.
Yeah.
And I hope that that's true. But I do have severe panic disorder, anxiety, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm charismatic. I don't have fucking BPD. Everyone can fucking relax.
I never
and kill
said you
themselves.
did though. I didn't.
No,
I said
but online the whole thing is like like I have BPD or whatever. But I simply.
Well, it's like what? So
don't.
like BPD is like a situation where like if you ever like hurt or like you say something bad to a woman or say something that they take as something bad, they'll just destroy you, right? Didn't you say like I will destroy you at any point?
Well, that's not the hallmark. The hallmark of
Yeah.
BPD is a shifting sense of self, fear of abandonment.
check.
No, I do not have a shifting sense of self at all. People have a shifting sense of me for some reason because they don't know me, because they only see me in 15-hour increments. Because I rarely make my own content or have long form content like this. But I know who I am. I have no, shifting sense of identity. And no, I've been in the same relationship for fucking 5 years. I don't struggle intra or interpersonally as much as the next person. But yeah, I'm just a girl from the fucking trailer park. I'm just a cute girl
my
from the
kind of
trailer
girl.
park.
My kind of girl, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that was another thing that the girls said. They were like, she's not classy at all. Yeah, no fucking, I'm like trailer park classy. I'm like fake classy. Like that's that's my whole vibe. That's my shtick, is that I'm like, I grew up in a fucking trailer. I've posted photos from like when I was in a trailer park when I was like 4 years old, and my parents did like meth, and like I'm not trying to be like real classy. It's just
Holy
like it's like
shit.
funny. It's like funny.
But
I'm
you
like
keep
drinking out
saying
of a
all this stuff,
plastic
and I'm like,
martini
yeah.
glass.
I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say to them. Like, no, that's awesome. Like, I like trashy women. I said the only thing
it's trashy on purpose.
Yeah, I said the only thing that she was missing was a Confederate flag bikini. Like that's the only thing.
I shit you not. I've been trying to look for a Confederate flag bikini for a while. And also because that was originally what I was going to do, with a Confederate flag instead of the American flag for those
Oh my god. Holy shit.
But I can't find it. And I keep trying to also find a Pantera shirt, but they don't sell the Cowboys from Hell shirts anymore, obviously, because it's like, not PC.
Yeah.
But dude, I've been trying to find like some Confederate era, or Confederate.
I'll talk to one of my ex-girlfriends. I'm sure they have a pair of
Yeah,
them.
please, and I'll knock one of my teeth out. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I literally dated a stripper with a tooth knocked out. Yeah.
You should go to therapy. You should definitely go to therapy.
Yeah, I've been in before. Yeah.
Jesus.
Well,
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Look, I liked you as a content creator, and you seem like a decent person. I appreciate the honesty, and I think the thing I found with you is like you're really funny. And
Thank
when you're
you.
funny, I'm like, if you're funny, then I don't really care what else you do because you're funny. So
yeah, I could rape someone right now.
yeah, exactly.
I could kill someone.
Yep. And as long as you crack a joke afterwards, everybody's like, "Oh, forgiven." Yeah,
exactly. That's why. I mean, people are mad at me because I said Kevin Spacey probably deserves to fuck a kid. I was like, yeah, he's given so much to us. We can't give him one kid. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Well,
Yeah.
Lab, thank you so much for coming on. You're invited anytime. There's
Thank
other
you,
co-hosts that want to talk to you as well, so I'm sure like you can pop in whenever you want.
Incredible. Sorry for saying the N-word earlier.
No problem. We're gonna be editing we're gonna be editing the fuck out of this episode. That's for sure.
Okay, perfect. I'll see you. Bye.
All right, take it easy. Holy shit! Wow. So that was the episode. I'm not. Oh my gosh, what's going on? No, I'm a little caught off guard. Sorry. That went way better than I thought it was gonna be, and I was really nervous because Beavers wasn't around. And Beavers had like a fucking. I'm just gonna fucking put it out here. I'm gonna do it myself, Beavers. I wanna fucking own myself, all right? Because Beavers has been threatening me with this screenshot for a while. And fucking I should have did it with Lab in the call, but I'm a pussy. But where's this DM? Where's this fucking DM? Oh, by the way, fucking when I was DMing Lab earlier, I think I said this in the podcast. She's like she said something like, I'm feeling ugly today. Do I need to be on cam? And then I quoted the I'm feeling ugly today, and I was like, that's impossible. So like I'm working. I'm putting my work in, okay? Like, you know, I'm doing my thing, guys. All right. Okay, yeah. I DM'd Beavers when we first started interacting on Twitter. The DMs were open, and I was like, I'm about to DM you because we're gonna get the schedule going. And I DM'd Beavers, and I was like, I think I've gaslit myself into actually having a crush on her. Now I'm afraid to talk to her. Lol. That was a joke, kind of. 90% joke, 10% true. Not because I'm like in love or have a crush on her, but because like, you know, I was kind of just nervous because I was, you know, she's kind of scary for one. She's interesting for two. Also, she said a lot of unhinged things on here, but she's also really fucking funny. And I don't know, like, you know, I know a lot of you have a horrible opinion on her, and you're well within your right to have that opinion. But like, you can't take away the fact that she's entertaining. No one can say she's not entertaining. All right. And I feel like we had a really good. I feel like we bonded for a bit. Did you guys hear that fucking when we were talking about our fucking anxieties and our medical history? Like, I feel like something was there, right? I feel like you know, I feel like this is my chance, right? I feel like this is my chance, and you know, things can happen. All right, things could happen, guys. Things could happen. And you know, but the problem is, right, this girl's all fucking she's about the money, right? She's about the money. And I am unfortunately bad with money. Those who are also bad with money: Darcy Evans, Ghosty, Stefan Corbino, the Gaming Witch, K-Huck 1013, Pigeon Salad, Ringtail, the Gadget Guy, Echo Tragedy, Brooke A, Everborn, Strictly Past, Fresh Brewski, Jacob Thomas, Reynold Hughes, Mame. If you want to be bad with money, you can pay $14.99 a month. Get your name said after every podcast and every live stream. Can't afford that. $10.99 a month is the Bieber Lovers. That gets you into priority calls, and we'll pull you right into the stream. Also gives you early access to now recording episodes. So if you're listening to this right now, you're a Bieber Lover. And those who almost said though, and then $4.99 a month membership is Stumpy's memberships, live streams, membership episodes, and paywall stuff in the Discord server. And those are our membership tiers. All right. So I think that's it. And remember, guys, how did I do, guys? Did I do good? All right. Did I do good? I hope I did good. I was really nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I was really nervous. I think I did good. All right. Remember, now recording is always recording. All right. Yo.
Sup, Matthew?
I already what's up, Beavers?
Hi. I want to know how much pushback there was done on this.
What do you mean?
And whoever's editing this, right? Matt Pitt is going to provide you with his DMs.
I already did.
Right?
I beat you to it.
Showing the pushback.
What do you mean?
Right? Okay. Because what I see in the Let's Talk About Love, right, thingy, it's... We can show these on screen for the audience, right? Well, when it comes to Lav, if you want an episode with her, you got to do it on her time, or you'll miss the opportunity. Lol.
Oh yeah, I didn't push back.
Most likely, she wants
push
to
back.
go on another stream tonight. No, this is where the good part comes in. Then she goes on another stream, lol. I ain't gonna do backflips because she wants to do an hour early when it's been planned for like 4 days, lol. Jessica. That's right, Matt. You show who wears the pants in the relationship. Matt. Typical woman behavior. Jessica. Lol. Matt Pitt. Alright, well, she flipped the script on me, and we're starting early with just her and me. If it doesn't happen now, you will get your chance on a live stream. Jessica, okay.
Okay, but all right. Do you want to hear my pushback?
Pussy whipped!
You want to hear my pushback?
What's your pushback?
All right. So can we do an hour early? I said if we do an hour early, it'll probably just be you and me.
Oh,
I
I've
think
seen that all.
Yeah, I'm giving more context. I think my
There's
co-host
no
is
context.
I'm giving. Well, there's a little more pushback, okay? And she says
There is
waking
no
up-
pushback!
I
I've seen the DMs!
I said he's in South Africa. She says degenerate. What about retard girls? I was like, Jessica will probably be around. Wake up. She says, wake your co-host up. And then then I say that's usually an impossible task. So I'm like defending you, like, you know, that's pushback. And then she says 30 minutes early. I have something to do tonight. And I said, like I said, I can do it now. Yeah, I didn't push back at all. Also, I'm simping. Deal with it.
He has no spine. I am never waking up for this podcast ever again.
You know,
Now recording is always recording.